The extremely popular beginner sport bike from Kawasaki that is widely regarded as one of the best all-rounders in the class, the Ninja 400, up against Yamaha's own little lightweight supersport that's garnered a whole lot of love all around the world, the R3. If you're looking at your first motorcycle or for an easy everyday sport bike, you will not be able to escape the presence that these two hold in the category. And today we are putting them head to head in one epic showdown. Today we are putting two titans of the beginner class under the magnifying glass for a detailed specs comparison to see just what the differences are and who comes out on top. We'll be analysing the styling, claimed engine and power specs, exhaust notes, weight, suspension and brakes, fuel economy, features and price to see where they stack up. Having also owned the Ninja 400 and spent a lot of time around R3s, I'll be adding in a little bit of my own personal experience with each as well. Now before we get started, please do me a huge favor and give this video a like and hit subscribe to join our awesome little community of moto enthusiasts. Alrighty, let's get straight into it and have a look at the styling of these two beauties. The Kawasaki Ninja 400 takes its styling cues from the bigger brothers in the Ninja lineup like the ZX6, featuring sleek yet aggressive lines. I spoke in my full review of this machine that it can quite easily be mistaken for a bigger bike than it actually is, and I think the dual LED headlights combines with the KRT trim to make a really attractive beginner motorcycle. I'm a big fan of the front end styling, but will say that the stock exhaust does leave something to be desired. The Yamaha R3 also takes its inspiration from other bikes in its lineup, being very reminiscent of the old R6. Being an aggressively styled and sleek little bike makes the R3 stand out whenever seen in person, and I have to commend them for the bodywork and its more traditionally MotoGP influenced look. Of course, styling comes down to personal opinion, and both are attractive looking motorcycles, so let me know down in the comments which one you think looks better. Onto the engines. Both the Ninja and the R3 are learner approved or LAMS motorcycles here in Australia and are designed to fit firmly into that class. But that doesn't mean you're not going to get a very fun engine. The Kawasaki is equipped with a 399cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine that it also shares with its naked variant, the Z400. That motor produces 44.8 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 38 Nm of torque at 8,000, which is definitely towards the upper limits of what's allowed on a LAMS bike. Those numbers give it the ability to reach 100 km an hour in only 4.3 seconds and reach a top speed of over 190 km. This is a quick little bike, and while in my personal experience the 0 to 100 time was closer to 5 seconds, it's still more than enough power and acceleration to have a lot of fun on everyday roads. The power delivery is smooth throughout the range and gives a really exciting little buzz when you get to the top end of the rev range. Over on the Yamaha, you have a 321cc liquid-cooled twin cylinder. The numbers here are 41.5 horsepower at 10,750 RPM and 29.5 Nm of torque at 9,000. That'll allow the bike to get from 0 to 100 in around 5.5 seconds and onto a claimed top speed of 188 km per hour. Those are still some respectable numbers from a beginner bike and make you a lot faster than most other moving things on the road. So in the engine and power department, the Ninja is the winner, having an extra 78cc to produce around 3.5 more horsepower and 8.5 more torque than the R3. It is also the faster motorcycle, and having raced against a few R3s on my own 400, it is noticeable in a race away from the lights, if only just. On regular rides, the Yamaha has absolutely no problems keeping up and is capable of reaching the same speeds as the Kawasaki. The Ninja is just a bit more powerful underneath. I genuinely think that these beginner sport bikes are underrated, as all of the power they make is usable. Revving it all the way out is extremely satisfying, and it's a lot more fun riding a slower bike fast than a fast bike slow. I also want to point out that both of these motorcycles are very popular for track use and racing. Due to their small size, they make ideal track bikes for honing your skills on and for tuning. Now let's also have a listen to the stock exhausts of both. Moving on, and we come to weight. This category is pretty neck and neck, with them being firmly in the lightweight category. The Ninja 400 has a wet weight of 168 kilograms, whereas over on the R3, you're sitting at a kilogram lighter at 167. Being so light allows the bikes to be very easy to handle and maneuver, both on the road and while stationary. And while it does mean that they will be easy to whip around a corner, Just note that on the highway, the lightness does mean that both can be affected by wind quite heavily. So there's really nothing in it at all, but nevertheless, the Yamaha is the lighter motorcycle and wins in this category. Now let's talk about suspension and brakes. These lightweight bikes are renowned for being extremely zippy and a load of fun to take up into the mountains. On the Ninja 400, up front you've got a 41mm telescopic fork, and at the back a bottom link Unitrack gas charged shock with adjustable preload. The seat height is 785mm and it comes in with a mostly upright but slightly leaned forward attack-like position. The handling on the bike is sharp and it handles mountain roads with ease. While it does like a bit of adjustability, it is a really fun bike to ride both around town and more aggressively through the twisties. As mentioned earlier, it's a popular pick for first track bike because it can be modded into a really capable and fast little racer. For its brakes, at the front you have a single semi-floating 310mm pedal disc with dual piston calipers, and at the rear a single 220mm pedal disc with single piston caliper. The bike also comes with ABS. In my full review of the Ninja, I said the brakes are adequate and will do the job, but aren't anything exceptional. The rear brake is a bit soft and spongy, but to be honest, in this category you're not going to be finding a whole lot more than that, and you can modify both bikes' brakes to be better. Moving over to the R3 for its suspension, up front you're equipped with KYB 37mm upside down telescopic forks and monocross single shock with adjustable preload at the back. The seat height is 780mm and again has a very similar ergonomic setup to the Ninja, although here it's leaned forward just slightly more. The R3 is renowned for being a fantastic handling little supersport, and it comes as no surprise that there are whole racing leagues dedicated just for the Yamaha. Handling is nimble and accurate and puts this bike as a track day favorite. For its brakes, at the front you have a hydraulic single 298mm disc and hydraulic single 220mm disc at the rear, and it also does come with ABS. Like the Ninja, the brakes here aren't anything to really write home about and should be adequate for everyday use. Really, the beauty in these two bikes is just how usable and adaptable they are. Is it your first bike? Well, they have loads of room to grow on and you can learn how to corner accurately. Do you want it as an everyday commuter? Well, they should be comfortable enough but still have a sporty feel to them. Or do you want it as a race bike? They can be modded to really tear up any track and are really versatile. So as for which wins in this category, well, it's a tough one. Both handle very well and will be brilliant on your local mountain road, but in saying that, the Yamaha does have the better suspension setup and the Kawasaki does have the bigger front brakes from the factory. This is very close, but I think this category just goes to the Yamaha. Also, on a quick side note, I've watched professional races on track between the Ninja and R3 and it was literally some of the most entertaining racing I have ever witnessed, just because of how closely matched they are. The Ninja pulling away on the straights, and the Yamaha catching right back up through the corners. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to fuel economy. The Ninja 400 is equipped with a 14-litre tank, which may not sound like a lot, but due to the small overall engine size, it only sips away at that and gets some really great mileage. In my personal experience, I have averaged around 24.5 kilometers per litre, which gets me around 330 to 350 kilometers per tank. On the R3, you have the same size 14-litre tank, but because the engine is a little bit smaller, you have even better mileage. With an average consumption of around 28 kilometers per litre, you'll have an estimated range of around 400 k's. Of course, real-world riding will probably lower that a fair bit, but still, that is some incredible range and should make this a terrific everyday commuter. The Yamaha wins in this department. Now we come to features. Being beginner bikes, you're not getting a whole lot of fancy electronics and extras here, but I'm pleased to say that both bikes have most of what you'd want. The notable features on the Ninja 400 include assistant slipper clutch, economical riding indicator, ABS, high tensile steel trellis frame, full LEDs, LCD display with analog tack, and that cool KRT trim. Like I said, it's pretty basic, but still has everything you'd really need for a first-time motorcycle. The features on the R3 include LCD dash, ABS as standard, full LEDs, steel trellis frame, and the sporty styling. The Yamaha is a bit more basic in this department, and I'm going to give the win to Kawasaki because it comes with an assist and slipper clutch which the R3 doesn't have. I suppose for the price you'll be paying for both these guys, you can't expect a whole lot more than what you're getting here. But it would be nice for them to throw in the nicer dashes that both of their bigger brothers have. Speaking of the price, we come to our last segment of the comparison test, and one that I think may have more of an impact on which people choose. For a brand new Kawasaki Ninja 400, here in Australia you'll be paying $8,621 right away. If you're willing to get a used one, you'll be looking at around 7 grand for a good one. For a new Yamaha R3, you'll be paying $8,199 here in Australia. And because this bike has been around for a few more years than the Ninja 400, there are more used options available and at a cheaper price. You can find a quality used R3 from around 6 to 6.5k. So in the price department, the Yamaha is the clear winner, being cheaper new and having more options available in the used market. But it presents us with the question, which one would you have? Both are very close to each other in a lot of these categories, with the Ninja having the bigger engine and being the faster overall bike. That does also come with some bigger brakes and an assistant slipper clutch, where the R3 is the cheaper option and will probably be the slightly better handling bike. Overall, the Yamaha does just slightly edge out the Ninja 400 in more categories overall, but I think it'll come down to the individual and what's most important to them. I myself went for the more powerful Ninja as my first bike and have never regretted it once. Really though, you can't lose with these two, and they are both absolutely fantastic little beginner sport bikes or just everyday commuters. You can have a ton of fun in the mountains revving them all the way to the red, take them to the track if you wish, or just have them as an everyday bike. Let me know down in the comments which one you would have, and while you're there, leave a suggestion for which two bikes you'd like to see go head to head next. Thanks for watching guys, and till next time, see ya!